How will you describe life? Will you describe it based on your own life experience, or will you consider every other's lives? Do you think it is good, bad, fair, or miserable? It's really hard to describe something so personal. Life is lived differently by every single one of us, either by luck or by our own decisions. With this said, tell me, are you satisfied with your life? Does your day to day activities and routine make you actually feel alive? I really hope that the answer to that question is yes. Not all of us are privileged enough to be happy. It really sounds depressing and harsh, but sadly, that is this world's reality. We all experience it and we all adapt to it, to the great and bad moments that life has in store for us. Some say that you create your own luck. But let's be honest, there are many things we're not in control of. But it is our duty as humans to push forward, to take the chances that are presented to us so that we can stop blaming luck or fate and start living the life that we deserve. Unfortunately, it is easier said than done. It is hard to know the answers to all the questions. All of us commit mistakes. It is unavoidable. All of us have regrets, past mistakes that keep on haunting us to this present day, even small things like regretting a purchase that you made. Maybe you regret that you didn't invite that girl to a date. Maybe you regret the career that you chose. Maybe you regret not being there for somebody when they needed you. There will always be something in the back of our minds eating us alive, blaming us for not choosing a different path. We will never know what could have happened if we had taken different decisions or different actions. We can't really know how big or small of a reaction these little moments could have made in our lives. We have to live accepting our mistakes and decisions made. There are no rewind buttons, there are no saves to be reloaded. We just move on. We continue. But today, we have something special to talk about. There is a little game that answers this philosophical enigma of changing the past and learning if the outcome would have been for better or for worse. That game is The Alters. The Alters is an emotional sci fi game with a unique blend of survival, adventure, and base building elements. You play as Jan Dolsky, the sole survivor of an ill fated space expedition, who creates alternative versions of himself to escape a hostile planet and tackle personal turmoils with this unconventional crew. That's the game's theme's description. And something that stood out to me was the emotional part of it. An emotional sci fi game? Like, what does that mean actually? Well, I mean, if you have played the game, you know exactly the answer. And if not, let me explain. This game, to its core, it's a linear base building game. And usually, base building games have a goal that you achieve based on your efficiency and skill, and after doing so, you finish the game. Or maybe it's endless. Some examples are Frostpunk, Factorio, Rimworld, etc. This game is different to them. This game has acts, chapters. You really can't rush to the ending of it. Actually, you are in it for the long road, and the game dictates your pace. But the game also does give you some freedom to tackle the base building aspect of it as you want. You will be traveling through the desolated world with your base, exploring new grounds, discovering new technologies, all of this while escaping from the sun that is about to destroy you and your crew. So, let's start talking about the game's story and its gameplay. Like I mentioned before, you are Jan Dolsky, a man with a difficult life who signed up for a space mission looking for a rare resource named Rapidium. During the mission, something went wrong. and he and his crew ended up crashing in an unknown planet. Only he survived the crash. Then he found a strange resource that has the ability to grow any organism in an accelerated pace. After testing it on a DNA sample of a ship, in a matter of hours, the DNA sample was a full grown ship. Ally Corp is the company you work for, and they want you to come back to Earth with the Rapidium, obviously. Nonetheless, you are more concerned about the current state of the planet in which you're stuck at the moment. In a matter of days, the sun will destroy everything on the planet. You need to escape before it is too late. Unfortunately, you are all alone. Ally Corp can help you just to a certain extent. You will need a crew to operate your base, obtain resources, and develop technology to go back home. That's the moment in which Jan Dolsky is advised by Ally Corp to clone himself, create alternative versions of himself, or alters, with the help of a quantum computer, which can simulate different actions and decisions made in your life, and then branch those new decisions creating new outcomes. This is just a little preview of the story. I don't want to spoil it, but it is great. There's never a dull moment in this game, either because you're micromanaging down to the last minute detail of your base, altars, or resources, or because you're progressing through the story fighting adversities with wit and effectiveness. And speaking about effectiveness, let's go right into the gameplay. As I said before, it is mainly a base building game, but it is quite original thanks to the fact that the base is traveling through the world. Typical base building games keep you in a single place while you expand to achieve your goals. This is not it. Because you're moving constantly, your job is to scout every new zone you arrive to, look for resources, and keep yourself alive until you manage to travel again to the next location. Scouting is key to the gameplay loop. It makes the game less monotone and adds cool features, making it a really fun adventure-based building game. But that's not it. There's another key feature that affects drastically the gameplay, which tests your skill and task management, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the impending doom that your crew is about to face: the sun. As I mentioned before while talking about the story, the main objective is to escape the planet before the sun annihilates everyone. That is not only a narrative tool, it actually affects the gameplay. The fact that you can't take your time to plan everything perfectly, that you're always against the clock, each mistake, every bad decision is a step closer to being destroyed by the cruel nature of the planet. The game works in days. Each day you wake up at 7 am and you have to work, explore, research, build, etc. until 9 p.m. If you weren't efficient enough that day, you might not notice it, but believe me, being disorganized can cost you your life. The sun is approaching. Each day that comes by, it is getting closer. You need to be quick, you need to be smart, you need to be organized. Understanding your priorities and planning for the future will allow you to succeed in this dire situation. Your survival depends on your capacity to make the right decision at the right time. It goes beyond being a resource management game. It also requires you to manage your time. I mean, obviously the game is not that hardcore, unless you want it to be, by changing the difficulty options. But the sentiment of urgency is great. You don't really have much time to make mistakes and adjust. You really need to be ready from the get-go. Okay, so I have explained the story, the gameplay, but you might be wondering, what about the altars? Well, let's start talking about them, why they are important, their impact in the game, and the emotional weight that they bring to the table. The altars in the altars are without a doubt the stars of the show. They are the highlight of the gameplay. In base building games, having work labor is a really common mechanic. Not every game has it, but many does. A great example of this is RimWorld. It is really fun and engaging to have a lot of residents to take care of, and based on their stats and expertise to use them to do different tasks and keep the place afloat. In that regard, the altars is really similar. Every altar that you create will have a different personality, different areas of expertise, different skills, and motivations. Nonetheless, there is something that the altars have that RimWorld doesn't: context. Your characters in RimWorld have a background which dictates their stats and behavior. It is a great system, I'm not gonna lie, I really like it. It is really well done, because it changes the way you tackle your community and how you build it. But it is limited by the way the game was made. The randomization of characters doesn't allow the player to make strong emotional links with them. Of course that you will be upset if a productive or cool character dies, but that's because of the negative impact that will leave on your community, not because you were really actually close to them. In The Alters, this is different. This is the meat and bone of the whole game. If you take the time to know the background of Jan Dolsky, you can appreciate and resonate with him and also with his alters. After creating an alter, you have the opportunity to know how his life was branched out from yours, and how one single change in Jan's life altered his entire path. There are many alters that you will end up creating along the way. Every single one of them has a different personality, and you have to be very smart on how you approach them. Every alter has emotions that will fluctuate depending on what you do and what you say. There are four main areas in the psyche of the alters, which are rebellion, motivation, insecurity, and burden. Each time you talk with your alters, you may affect these areas of their minds, and it can have both positive and negative effects. An alter that is happy will work more time, and a sad or angry alter will work shorter shifts. That's when you realize the importance of knowing everybody's story. You can play the game without knowing your alters? Yes, of course, but you will have a much easier time managing their attitudes if you know how to treat them. You will be able to create doctors, scientists, miners, workers, but you are their leader. You need to manage their strong and weak points to get the best out of them. It's your responsibility as a captain to take care of them, to entertain them, to comply to their demands, to guide them out of the planet. They need you just as much as you need them, and I love that the game doesn't actually encourage you to learn their stories. The game won't force you to be a leader, but if you take the time to actually read their stories, the game will reward you because depending on your social skills when talking to the elders, you will know what to say and how to say it. Now, I will give you some examples of some situations that I experienced throughout my gameplay. Just a little disclaimer. There will be very minor spoilers about the scientist and the technician in these examples. I just want you to know. So, the first example is with the technician, which is a really harsh alter. He's grumpy and emotionally distant. In his life, he actually confronted his alcoholic dad, so he has a much more aggressive and confrontational attitude in comparison to Jan, which is much calmer. Knowing his story allowed me to keep him calm in multiple occasions. For example, here he's mad about something. So I spoke to him about it, and because I know him really well, I was able to defuse the situation, avoiding him getting mad at me.
Hey man, meaningless small talk will... So maybe we can talk about something Punching that smirk of yours would definitely do the trick. But if you really... Maybe you should punch me. Why not? You don't want that. Trust me. Hey, so remember our... Yeah, I wanted to suggest... Tell me. A lot of productivity is wasted on socializing. Binge watching a series for the 100th. People can work till they drop, you know. It's been done before in emergency situations. Will we really be more productive? Just watching rich... Of course they won't be happy about it, but it's a small price to pay. I guarantee that. Still, it doesn't sound like something I could keep up forever. No, but even doing it at small intervals can drastically speed up the completion of crucial tasks. Ever seen a good captain hesitate? If you want to do it now.
After following the outer storylines, they will teach you lessons. These lessons allow you to unlock new dialogue options that can change the outcome of several situations. These lessons originate from the branching process that the quantum computer generates. In this case, the technician stayed with mom and protected her from that. So, these actions made him assertive, much more than the original Jandolski. These decisions not only gave him a different career path, it also gave him a whole different life perspective and also different attitude and demeanor.
Thanks for the game. Yeah, you're not as bad as I thought. Maybe there's still potential in you, but you really need to stop doing everything people want from you. I mean, like building a door. Exactly. Or building a social room when they. Are you telling me I should have ignored? No, man. No. Just saying people are gonna want things from you. All the time. You gotta learn how to say no some. And you can forget about yourself. Like with Dad? Yeah, sort of. Guess you're right.
Also, something that I love about the game is that unlike many other base building games, where your workers are just lifeless NPCs, here the alters are actually alive in many ways. You can interact with them, like having recreational activities, playing beer pong, watching movies, playing cards, even having feasts and concerts.
If I could take another turn, my life would never be the same. If I could get another chance today, oh, if I could take us somewhere now, let us win this race against the sun and find a place where we could hide tonight.
Okay, so I'm gonna be totally honest with you all. I loved the concert. It was such a big surprise because it all starts like a little tiny thing that the alters are asking from you, like they wanted to reunite the band. And then when you actually see the cutscene, your mind is blown, because it's something so wonderful. Also, the song is really well written, in my opinion. I think it's really cool and really well sang. So, yeah, like, it's amazing. I love it every single moment, every single second. It is really brief, but also really meaningful because it's the culmination of your connection with the authors. And also, there's a really cool detail, which is my favorite thing about the whole concert thing, is that at the very end, when the image is starting to blur out, you can see for a tiny, like 3, 4, 5 seconds, you can see the original Jan Dolsky looking back at the camera, watching you directly, and waving the hand at you. Like it's like a little symbol of we are acknowledging you as a player, like you're part of this too, and I don't know, it just makes you feel so connected to the game, to the characters, to every single one of them. Like you were actually part of that moment too. You are too Jan Dolsky. And yeah, like I love that. That was my favorite detail, and I think it's my favorite thing about the whole game. So, the reason why I love this tiny detail so much during the concert scene is because when Jan breaks the fourth wall to encourage us and make us part of the celebration, he's actually not breaking the immersion, he's making it stronger. Allow me to explain this. Unlike other moments in gaming in which the player is taken out of the game by the developers thanks to an Easter egg or something similar, it actually serves the purpose to make a joke, reference something, or just something the devs want to add. But here in The Elders, this is different. Your relationship and emotional connection with the crew is what the game is all about. So instead of breaking the fourth wall and immersion with this little detail, Jan is in reality making you feel part of the crew. He's acknowledging that we're all here by working together. It might break the fourth wall just a tiny bit, but it is totally worth it thanks to the outcome. You reinforcing your emotional connection with your crew. And that's beautiful. This is just another example of how small actions actually mean so much more and can have big consequences. So, to wrap this up, I just want to say my final opinion. Um, the gameplay is great. I don't think it takes the cake because the main highlight is the story, the motions, the roster of altars. Like, the game feels so alive throughout the whole playthrough. It's beautiful. I think it's a really well done game. And also, it's quite replayable because you don't get to meet all the altars in just one playthrough. So you can diversify your altar roster in different matches and taking different decisions so that you can unlock all the endings that the game has to offer. The game was amazing. Like, I don't have anything else to say other than saying that The Altars was a great gaming experience, which actually, in my opinion, achieves to maximize its potential with the great and original concept that it brings up. So, if you haven't played it yet, please don't even think about it, just do it. Like, you won't regret it, you already saw my video, so please just do it. I haven't spoiled you anything other than the concert, but man, like, if the concert doesn't convince you to play the game, I don't know what will, because it's the greatest thing ever. So finally, I just want to thank you for watching the video. See you soon.